Now, shifting focus to the ongoing war in Ukraine, even as Russia and Ukraine are set to come to the table for discussions for a second consecutive day, the situation on ground remains grim. Russian forces are dangerously close to Kiev, within airstrikes and bombs being hit on residential areas. In the latest, one person was reported dead after a 15-story apartment building was hit by multiple Russian airstrikes in the capital city. Flames were seen billowing out of the apartment and several people were rescued. And for more details, let me go across to my colleague Pradeep, who's joining me live from the conflict-hit Ukraine. Pradeep, what is the situation currently? We're seeing the Russian military closing in on the capital city. Where are you currently and how's the situation around you?
See, the building you are talking about, I was very much there. I covered that instance when a rocket was fired from the Russian side that hit the building. And soon after that, this fire started and smoke was billowing out. We captured those visuals and all of the civilians who were putting up there, they were to be evacuated. And 2 people lost their lives and many others were injured. So this clearly indicates that Russians are not only targeting military installations, they are targeting civilian areas, making really things difficult for people here in Ukraine. You rightly said that Russians are trying to close in on Kiev capital city. They're just 3 to 5 miles at some of the places. They're trying their level best somehow to target these areas. Reason is that they want to escalate situation because even after 20 days, they had not been able to enter inside Kiev. So that's really worrying for the Russian people. So what they really felt initially was that within 48 to 72 hours, they will be able to capture Kiev and they will be able to bring a regime change. But nothing of that sort has happened. They might have got some tactical military victory at some of the places, but that political objective is yet to be fulfilled. And what is that political objective? One, they wanted demilitarization of the area. Second, they wanted denuclearization. Third, they wanted denazism. When I'm talking about denazism, that means they wanted a regime change. They wanted to topple this government. They wanted to have their own man installed here by capturing Kiev city, that's the capital of Ukraine. But nothing of that sort has happened. Reason being that so far Ukrainians have been fighting this war smartly because they know they have got an edge so far as urban warfare is concerned. So it is getting difficult for the Russian troops to move inside those urban areas. Wherever they have tried, they had like sitting ducks for Ukrainian troops, and also Ukrainian civilians are also acting like wall of resistance, trying to target them. Second tactical blunder which Russians committed initially, because all of us had been showing those visuals of a long convoy of Russian tanks up to 40 miles moving towards Kiev capital. Most of these tanks were bunched together. So it became really easy for Ukrainian army, especially artillery and drones, to target them. So there were so many visuals of Russian tanks being destroyed. So now what they've started doing, they've changed their strategy. They've started dispersing into forest belt. They've started moving towards city areas so that they can close in. They have already started moving from different flanks. This armored brigade is trying to move. In the meantime, they have opened mouths of their artillery also. They started firing rockets, whatever they have in their arsenal. They're trying to target because that they feel that they will be able to inflict maximum casualty, divert attention of civil administration, and accordingly they will be able to capture Kiev. Now it's to be seen how long it will take, but yes, so far the Ukrainians are showing great determination and spirit, which they had failed to break. And civilians continue to suffer. And they are the one who are facing brunt. More than 3 billion people have already lost their homes. They have fled to different places. Some of them have crossed to Poland. Some of them are in Romania. Some of them are in Hungary. And then there are so many more people who are homeless and they don't know where exactly to go. So people continue to suffer at the end of the day. It is the civilians who are suffering because of this ongoing war, which where the people sitting at the helm of affairs, they want to achieve political objective. And that's one of the reasons that right now Ukrainians want that the International Court of Justice should initiate action against Russians for violating human norms and also for war crimes that they have committed by targeting civilians. We have seen what really happened in Mariupol. In fact, situation is also deteriorating in the western sector. They are trying to widen horizon of their attack. They are not only confined to Sumy, Kharkiv, Mariupol or Kiev area. They are also trying to train their guns towards western Ukraine. We have seen that 2 days back there was a missile strike in which 35 of the personnel died. And already Vladimir Putin has said that if the Western countries will try to pump in weapon into this country, they will also be targeted because they will not be spared. And we saw that exactly hours after that warning, there was a missile strike on the military base in the Western Ukraine in which 35 people died. So They are trying to raise cost of war. They are trying to escalate situation. They are trying to intensify situation. They are trying to make things really difficult for people of Ukraine so that they can bring a regime change, they can bring Ukrainians on knees. That's what exactly they are trying to do. Let's see to what extent they will succeed. But so far, the Russians are not able to enter inside Kiev capital. I think that's a big victory for the Ukrainians. They have been able to keep them away. Because what Russians thought that Ukrainians are not same what they used to be in 2014. I think Russians have not learned from the mistakes that they had committed in the past. They are committing some tactical blunders because they overstretched their movement, and because of it, the supplies and the logistic also got overstretched, and that really made things difficult for the Russian troops and made things easier a little bit for the Ukrainians. But so far as civilians are concerned, they are the one who are facing brunt. And right now, while I'm talking to you, these air raid sirens are blaring. You must be hearing that sound. That air raid sirens are blaring. People are asked to run indoors, move towards the bomb shelter. So this has almost become a routine in Ukraine. All of a sudden, the air raid starts blaring, air raid sirens. People start running towards safer areas. They're asked to move toward bomb shelters. They're asked to move towards the basement. That is the only place where they can keep themselves safe. And right now, also, while I'm talking to you, air raid silence is blaring, and things are getting tense here also at this stage.
Absolutely, Pradeep. As we've always kept reiterating that safety comes first, and as you rightly pointed out that the air sirens have gone off, and it's even time for you to go back to your shelter. So for now, we leave it there. Stay safe, and thank you so much for joining us with all those updates. Meanwhile, oil prices are seeing a drop today as increasing COVID cases in China has flagged off demand concerns. The concerns come following a shutdown of Chinese tech hub of Shenzhen. Meanwhile, continued talks between Russia and Ukraine for a potential truce also cooled down oil prices. The global benchmark for oil, Brent crude, tumbled to $98.8 as compared to its peak from the last week of over $139. Meanwhile, US benchmark WTI also saw a sharp decline, falling below $100. Oil prices had earlier increased at record pace in the backdrop of Russian invasion that heightened supply concerns.